Okay, this is for the question 1 to question 5 for homework 6. And this chapter is about elasticity, especially about the price elasticity of demand and the other kinds of elasticity of demand. So let's consider the calculation here. Question 1. The price of gasoline rises 5%. And the quantity of gasoline purchased falls 1%. Now, in the elasticity formula, the elasticity of demand is what the percentage change in quantity demanded divided by the percentage change in the price. Okay, so what do we get? We have the quantity demanded change is 1%, right? That's the result. That's what is caused by the price change, 5%. The price increased by 5% and the quantity demanded fall by 1%. So this is 1 over 5, which is about 20%. Okay, and we know that if this elasticity is less than 1, it's what? Inelastic. Okay, if it is less than 1, it's inelastic. Well, of course, if this elasticity of demand is higher than 1, it's elastic. It will become useful later on, but now we just need to tell whether the result we get is higher than 1 or lower than 1. Okay, let's look at question 2. Egg producers know that the price elasticity of demand is 0.1. Is it elastic or inelastic? Right? If they want to increase sales by 5%, sales is basically quantity demanded, right? So again, what we have is elasticity is sort of the percentage change in quantity demanded divided by the percentage change in the price. Okay, and this number is 10% or 0.1 equal to the sales increase by 5%. That means the quantity demanded should increase by 5%. Okay, we sort of assume that here the producer can change the price and the result quantity sold or quantity demanded will happen, right? This is what we assume here. And the question asks, they will have to lower price by how much? Okay, it's a percentage. We want to know this price change percentage, right? What is the percentage change in the price? And usually in mathematical calculation, we put an x here. We know the x is this unknown, the percentage change in price that we want. Okay, so we have an equation basically says, let me write it down again, point 1, which is the elasticity equal to 5% divided by x. And we solve for x. So x, we need to times x on both sides of this equation. We got 0.1x equal to 5%, something like that. Right? Okay, let me just do that. 0.1x. We can even put a star there. Just make sure you understand what I'm doing. That is 5%. And then how much is x? We need to solve for x here. X equal to what? The 5% divided by 0.1. Okay, and you do the math, get the answer. the number is actually pretty big. They have to cut their price quite significantly. The reason is that this elasticity is so small. Okay, a small change in the price will only generate a very small change in the quantity demanded. The result is that if you want a little change, not a significant change in the quantity demanded, you have to slash the price a lot. So now let's look at question 3. If the price of chocolate covered peanuts, allergy, decreases from $1.55 to 95 cents, and the quantity demanded increases from 180 bags to 220 bags, then the price elasticity of demand is by the midpoint formula. The midpoint formula is just a formula. Okay, it's not anything fancy. It's just a formula, and this formula make the calculation of price elasticity of demand practical, right? So actually, what we should do first is to calculate what is the average price change, or say the average price level to start with, right? So it's let's say average price, and that is what 1.05 plus 0.95 divided by 2, which is obviously 1, and the average quantity demanded is what 180 plus 220 divided by 2, which is clearly 200. And now we are going to, because it's so-called midpoint formula, the key thing is that we are going to use the average price and the average quantity demanded as the base in the calculation of the percentage change, okay, for the price and the quantity demanded. So let's look at that percentage change. The percentage change in the price is what? How much is the change? It's 0.95 minus 1.05, and then divided by 1. It's basically 10 cents over $1. It's negative 10%. It's a price drop. And then the percentage change in quantity demanded is what? 220 minus 180, that's 40, divided by 200, which is the average quantity demanded we just calculated. Alright, that is 40 over 200, or 20 over 100, so it is 20%. Okay, it is 20%. Let me give myself more space. Now, what is the elasticity of demand? Now I'm going to tell you, right? Usually we know the price elasticity of demand is a negative number, so we usually just drop that negative sign. But we know it's negative, so with the numbers here, it's the percentage change in quantity demanded, 20%, divided by the negative 10% is the percentage change in the price. Percentage change in the price, the negative 10%. I'm going to put this one into a parenthesis. So obviously it's easy to see what is the value in this calculation, right, for the price elasticity of demand. And you can also think about whether it's elastic or inelastic, but that's the calculation. I don't care a lot about this midpoint formula, but you know, the textbook taught it, so I ask you to do a little bit exercise here. Okay, now let's look at question 4. A restaurant manager has estimated that the price elasticity of demand for meals is 2. So this manager knows the price elasticity of demand for his product is 2. If the restaurant increases meal price by 5%, 5% increase, she can expect a number of meals sold to decrease. Okay, the number of meals sold to decrease by how much, and the total revenue to do what? You look at here, either increase, stay the same, stay constant, or fall. Okay, but mainly the question is the quantity, right? The change, the percentage change in the quantity. And by what we have learned in the textbook, okay, look at this value of POD, the price elasticity of demand. It's higher than 1, right? When it's so elastic, right? The demand is so elastic, you increase the price, the quantity demanded will drop a lot, which will drag down the total revenue. Okay, that is this part. You just look at this value of the price elasticity of demand, and you think about what's gonna happen to the total revenue when the seller increase the price. You know it will decrease. Okay, that's a result you need to memorize. If it's inelastic, then the revenue actually increase. But if it is elastic demand, the revenue will drop. But still, we need to do some calculation to get the change in the quantity demanded. So let's look at still this definition: the percentage change in the quantity demanded divided by the percentage change in the price, that is 2. And we are interested in this change. Again, we want to know what this quantity demanded should be. That's our interest. And this one divided by how much I have increased my price, 5%. Okay, that is the change in the price. So to solve, right, this one is what I'm interested in. I will just carry it over. So this one, what I'm gonna do is basically times both sides of this equation. Okay, this is the equation I'm talking about, times both sides with 5%. And the left hand side I'm going to put it on the right. So the left hand side times 5% is this percentage change in quantity demanded will equal to 2 times the 5% we are talking about. And that is a very easy number to get. And we have talked about the total revenue will fall. Okay, so that is question 4. All right, let's look at question 5. You manage a nightclub. How nice. And lately revenues have been disappointing. Your bouncer suggests that raising drink prices will increase revenue. Your bouncer says that. Do you know? Your bouncer knows more than you do. Anyway, but your bartender suggests that decreasing drink prices will increase your revenue. So basically, the bouncer and the bartender have different opinions because they think raising the drink prices will have different impact on the revenue. You're unsure who is right, but you do know what your bouncer thinks. The demand for drink is what? I have talked about it. Okay, if you increase the price and your total revenue increase, it means the demand is what? Okay, it should be inelastic, right? And if you decrease the price, it will increase the revenue, or say you increase the price, it will decrease the revenue. Okay, this is the two sides of one coin. Right, for the bartender, right, he thinks if you increase the price, the revenue will decrease. It's the same to say you decrease the price, the revenue will increase. Okay, and we know that situation means what? The demand should be elastic. Okay, the demand should be elastic. So basically, we should write something down. Right, after you learned this, you should note, right, price and total revenue change in the same direction. You have inelastic demand, right? Price and total revenue change in the opposite direction means elastic demand, right? There is analysis for the reason of this, and we most likely will see some exercise showing this result, but it is a conclusion that you need to memorize. Okay, that is question 1 to 5 for homework 6.